Okay, and what is the use of Webpack in React?
Uh, Webpack are like bundler. And if you say like uh, Webpack na,
Yes.
uh, modeling system, uh, which is also built on the top of the Node.js. So what it will do now, it will just minimize all the file JavaScript and CSS uh, into a minified version. Like it will combine all these uh, JavaScript and CSS file. So
Okay.
when we deploy it now, so we will it will help.
Okay. Okay. So what are stateless component in React?
Uh, Stateless component. Stateless components are like well, in a RESTful protocol, like a responsive is expected. But that means, for example, when we are doing the stateful, na,
Hmm.
in which like response is expected, and but in the
Okay.
case of stateless, na, no response is expected. Yeah, means the servers and client depend on each other in a stateful protocol. But yeah, but it is not like same in the stateless protocol. Means, for example, a stateless protocol sends the request again if no response is received.
Okay. Now can you please share your screen?
Okay, my screen is visible.
Okay. Yes. Now can you can open any editor or online.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now create an array. All right. A B C
Okay.
C.
And
Then A.
again.
This is again A,
Okay.
and then D.
B.
D.
Okay.
Now I want you to like provide the most repeated character and the number of times it was repeated.
Okay. You want the both like how many times the A is how many times A is in the array, na?
Right.
Or yeah, like which element occur the most.
Yes. Which one is occurred most and the number of times it was occurred or repeated.
Okay, got it. Give me a minute. I will think now.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Take your time.
Okay, what I do now, I create an object, and after that, what we can do that. Okay, got it. What is the problem?
Okay.
I think it's at destruct. I reload this now.
Okay, yeah, fine. And if it's not working, you can also use console.
Yeah.
If it's not working again.
Okay.
Okay, now can you take me through the steps that you followed?
Yeah, I tell you, know, what I am doing like here. Uh, Firstly, I just create one simple function and call it from here. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. After that, I just loop it through the array what I had passed, and after that, I checked if object I created one object, empty object in the starting of the function, and I checked if the element which has come, like for example, first this is the first iteration, and a has come. Okay, so firstly it will check this a has one property is a function which checks for key in the object. So what it will do now, in the element, it will get a, and it will check a is inside of object as a key or not. Okay, so it will found it that firstly in the first case when the first time a has come now, so
okay,
it founded that there is no a in the object firstly, so it will go to the else statement. It will not hit the if statement. It will go to the else statement. Okay.
Okay.
And here object of element, what I do, uh, what is the a na, what is the element here came, like a has came, so I created one key property with the element name and assign it with the count of one. So now it will, here it will what now it will look like uh, obj, what how the object will look like na, a colon
Okay.
1. Okay, because it is in the first form. Okay. Next time, next loop iteration, second loop iteration, it will found b. Okay.
Okay.
And after that again it will check if b is available in the object or not. Okay. And again it will not found b in the object. Then after it will go to the else statement. So now our object will look like b colon 1. Okay. It will initialize with that key na, with the one. And in
Fine.
the third case again same will happen, and uh, it will get like c colon 1. And when again a will come, okay, now again in the fourth iteration, again a has come in the element, so it will check if a is inside of object as a key or not. So in now it will found that a is already in the object. Okay. Got my point?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so it will found it that a in that object, and it will go into the if statement. Okay, so what it will be do, like it will firstly it will fetch the value of that array variable, like inside of object it will fetch for a element a. Okay, and what is the value of a? It is 1, and 1 plus 1 2. Okay, so it will
Mm-hmm.
become 2. So now here a will become 2. And
Mm-hmm.
again in the last iteration d will come, and here d colon 1. Got it?
Yes, but yes, I haven't received the element
Yeah,
which was repeated.
not yet it is completed now. I tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, let me complete now. So here the loop has ended. Hmm. So, there's a problem here, no? Yeah. You can see now, most occurred element is A and most occurred value is 2.
Okay, so what is closure in JavaScript?
Closure means closure is like a we can use say that it is like used to achieve the encapsulation in which what we do now we just bind the function with its lexical environment. For example, a function returning another function, okay, another instance of the function, okay, and it will remember the values of that previous one. For example, if the value has been changed, it will memorize that variable. He knows that what was the value previously. So I
Okay,
tell
can
you now,
you give me an example, like by writing a code?
yeah. So for example, if we take one example of like a function and we just call function from here and let define one variable here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we just return one function from the outer one, and what this function will do now? It will just increment the value of a. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, let make this instance of this one. Okay. This function. No, okay. Well, this is the instance now. We need to call that function because when we call that function now, it will just only return that function. Okay, it will not call that function. It will only return the function. So that's why we need to put the parenthesis here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now the value of a is 1. Okay, it is returning 1.
Yes.
Now again I will call that same function na? So this time it returned 2. Why it returned 2? Because it memorized the this variable a in the separate memory space. So whenever again we will call that function na, it knows that it knows the previous value of a. So that's why it is behaving like this. If I call again this one na, so it will again memorize the previous one values. Like firstly it was 1, and after that, after the first call, 1 plus 1 it become 2, and after the third call it become 1 plus 1 plus 1. Sorry, yeah, it become 3. So this is how closure works.
Okay. And what is the difference between real DOM and virtual DOM?
Real DOM are like, matlab, firstly, if I tell you not what is DOM, so matlab, these DOMs are like for document object model, na? So it is like a representation of HTML for like it is that it will like it's like a tail like for structure. For example, uh, DOM manipulates is required, but means whenever dynamically change, for example, everything which is if there is any tag na uh, means
Mm,
whatever you see on the screen na, it is like a DOM. For example, if it is a tag or like any element or what you display like for example when the page loads na when the page is loads it will form a tree like structure. It
mm,
will place all the elements in a specific manner. Like for example, uh, we have created one div element, and inside of div element we created two siblings, and just like of this, we have created the structure, and also the when it loads on the browser, na, it follows the same structure. Firstly, it will just create one div element. Inside of back in the packet, na, it creates a structure. uh, for example, firstly it will create in the root node, and after the root node it will get like div element, or after the div element it will create like siblings, or it will create a whole structure to display. And virtual DOM, if we talk about no, virtual DOM, so virtual DOM is like a virtual representation of real DOM. It is virtually like uh,
mm,
for example, React updates the change. Na? React updates the change. So firstly, it will check in the virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is like a pre-state. We can say like pre-state before everything get hitted into the real DOM. So it is like a blueprint. For if we talk about clearly, na, it is like a blueprint. So you can say like we can change the anything in the blueprint. For example, if you take an example, na, there is
mm,
virtual DOM besides before the actual DOM. So it will just compare all the nodes. So firstly, it will load. Firstly, in the first wheel, it will load na. So first in the first state, real DOM and virtual DOM are at the same level. Okay, and real DOM, for example, real DOM display a list for five elements. Okay, and
okay.
at the same time, virtual DOM also is a copy of real DOM, and it also have the five nodes. So for now, the list has been changed, and it uh, converted into six element has also been added to the list. Okay, so now it's get six. So if we'll talk about previously, na, if we will reload like in what to do, what the way virtual DOM does here play a role. It will compare the old structure with the new one structure, and it will found like only the one element has been added to the list. So it will not create the whole structure again. So it will what it will do now, it will simply just to add one item to the list, and it will not to create the whole component. Just like for example now, as I told you earlier, uh, in that it will create the whole once the pages will load it now, it will create the whole tree structure, and align all the elements properly at at their place. So it now it will not happen in the case of virtual DOM. Now it will compare the old one with the new one, and after that, if it will found that only the one node has been added, so it will add only that element, not create the whole component.
Okay.
So it will save over time, na, and
Mm,
increase the performance also.